Just a bit. We'll give folks a minute or so to log on, but grateful for those of you who are able to join today. Just take a minute and settle into where you are. Just take a minute and settle into where you are. Making sure my live stream's working on my website. And thank you to the person who's joining live. And we'll wait just another minute or so to give folks a bit to log on. As you're logging on, I'm always curious to where folks are joining from. And so if you want to chime in the chat and let me know where you're joining from. I'm in the Madison, Wisconsin area here in the United States. Well, for those of you who may not know me, I'm Tim Fortescue, a trained IFS practitioner specializing in spiritual growth and healing. Whether you've experienced religious trauma or are seeking guidance on your spiritual journey, I'm here to serve as an ally and to give you the support that you need. As we go throughout this live, know that I try to do this each week, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern here in the US on Tuesdays. You can find out more about me and my coaching practice on my website, faithfullygrowing.com. And you can also join the lives there, either here on YouTube or if you go to faithfullygrowing.com/live. You can join me there. As we go throughout our time this morning, as you have questions, you can type them in the chat. If you're watching a recording of this video, you can also type in your questions, or better yet, if you send me an email, if you're not watching this live, to tim@faithfullygrowing.com, I'd be glad to get back to you, engage with your questions there. If you haven't already, click subscribe if you'd like to the channel so that you can be aware when I post new content. And you can also find other guided meditations here on my YouTube channel, or if you go to my blog, the same thing is posted there, Faithfully Growing, or blog.faithfullygrowing.com. And finally, before we jump in, if you have the capacity to donate, I have a nonprofit aspect of my coaching practice that allows me to provide more sliding scale slots to those who may not normally have access to IFS coaching. And you can always make a donation, it's tax deductible, at faithfullygrowing.com. And if you just click on the donate button. Before I lead us in our meditation, I'm going to talk just a bit about our protective parts in the framework of IFS and some of their fears. Protectors in internal family systems, and if you're new to IFS, if you go to my website and faithfullygrowing.com and you click on how I work, you can get some more information on that, or you can just Google internally family systems. It's a proven approach that has brought healing to many, including myself. And in IFS, or internal family systems, we have protectors. And these protectors play a vital role in keeping us safe, but they work really hard. They can become exhausted and resistant to change. And we categorize them two ways, as managers and firefighters. And with managers, they're trying to control and organize our life and make our to-do lists and keep us on track. And firefighters are those that jump in just like a firefighter does to put out a fire and give quick coping mechanisms to try to protect us. But even though they're working really hard, what they're trying to do sometimes or often isn't the best approach. And protectors have fears, and I want you to be aware of these protector fears as I lead us in our visualization and meditation today. But some of the fears that our our protectors have are the fear that emotions are going to overwhelm. If we try to get to some of those parts of us that have been pushed down, we're going to be flooded with emotion, and that we're going to become overwhelmed. That's a fear. Triggering extreme behaviors, triggering those firefighters that make us overeat or resort to things that can tend to be an unhealthy limit to protect us from what we're doing. And so triggering extreme behaviors, rejection from a coach or a practitioner or a therapist. If I share this in this session, then you're going to reject me. And so those are valid fears that our protectors often have. And not only with the practitioner that they're working with, but losing external support in general. There's also a fear that if I reveal past secrets, of being vulnerable and doing that is just not safe. Losing identity. Those protectors have been working very hard in this role, and they may not like what they're doing, but it's all they've ever known. And there's fears of losing that identity. Experiencing disappointment, and then risking harm to the exiles. In IFS, those that are familiar, we have our protectors, those managers and firefighters. And they're often either being proactive as managers or reactive as firefighters in protecting younger parts that are filled with shame, that can be exiled underneath. And even though they don't need to bear the burden of protecting these little ones alone, they're working really hard. They care deeply about those young inner child parts of us, and they don't want to harm them. And so there's a fear of harm if they trust us more, and soften back that those exiles are going to be harmed. And so be aware of some of these fears that may be coming up for you as I lead us in our meditation today. And again, let me know your questions if you have them, either live in the chat or send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com, or you can comment here. I'll try to monitor your questions even after the live in the chat. But let's begin the meditation. Begin by finding a comfortable position. You can close your eyes if you'd like to, but if that's uncomfortable, know that you can just let your gaze rest softly in front of you. Let's take in a deep breath together. And exhale slowly. And let go of any expectations or judgments about this meditation. Go ahead and take a couple breaths at your own pace. Know that if your system needs more time, I do post a recording of this same meditation later that you can stop and start. And as you continue to settle, imagine that you're standing in a beautiful forest, a cleared area, maybe a meadow surrounded by trees. Sunlight shining down between the leaves. You feel safe and calm here. Ahead of you is a winding path leading into the woods. And imagine this is the path to connect with your protectors, those parts that are working so hard, either managing or reacting as firefighters. They want what's best for you. And we're going to spend a little time to connect with them now. As you start down the path, notice the sights, the sounds, smells around you. Feel the earth beneath your feet. With each step you take, you go deeper into a calm and relaxed state. In the distance, you see a soft glowing light between the trees. As you get closer, you see this light is coming from a small cottage nestled in the woods. This cottage belongs to your protectors. The door's open and welcome. Step inside the cottage and look around. It's simple but cozy, with a warm fire burning in the hearth. On a shelf along the wall, you see items representing each of your protectors. Just go in your mind's eye and see what you notice. Who's there? And as you continue to notice, see if you can settle into a comfortable seat by the fire. And take a moment to appreciate the peace and safety you feel there. When you feel centered, invite your protectors to join you. One by one, they emerge from deeper within the cottage. Greet each protector by name as they arrive. Maybe you're not sure what they would like to be called. Get some clarity on how they want to be identified. And there may be some parts, some protectors that want to keep distance and just observe. Let them know they can do as much or as little as they're wanting to. No matter what, express gratitude for their presence and how hard they're working in protecting you, and how hard they're working in protecting those young child parts of you that may be underneath. See if there's anyone else that may want to join. Come a little closer. And once everyone is gathered, take some time to check in with each protector. Maybe it's first just acknowledging each one. Ask them how they're feeling. What do they want to share with you? They have any worries or fears that they want you to know about, they feel you need to know about? Maybe they're fearful of overwhelming other protectors or those little ones inside of you. Fearful of embarrassment. Being abandoned or not understood. See what they want to share about those fears, concerns. Listen deeply to what each protector has to share. Notice there may be other parts that are arising that want to step in and stop you, or say it may be better to do it this way or this way. Just see if they could soften back and let them know that you want to hear from them too. But if they could just give you a little space. Reassure your protective parts where they need it. Let them know that you're here to support them, just as they're here to support you. Remind them that they're enough. All things change. We're constantly changing, and difficult times will pass, but it doesn't mean that they're not feeling strong emotions right now. And let them know that if they want to, they can let go of some of these fears or burdens that no longer serve them well or serve you well. Just see if there's anything else that you want to share with these parts. What do they want to share with you? And when you feel complete with each of these more protective parts, just first wait and see if there's anything else before we wrap up. And when it feels complete for now, thank each part one by one for meeting with you, for their courage and coming forward as close, or maybe they need to stay at a distance, and that's okay too. Thank them for whatever courage that they had. If there are any notes that your parts or you may need to take as maybe a next step or something you need to keep at top of mind, go ahead and make that note. And let those protectors know that this doesn't have to be the last time, that you want to spend more time with them if they'd like that. Maybe set a time to do that in the next day or so. Whenever these protective parts need extra care or attention, you can always return here. And it may be a while, it may have been a while since they've gotten to know you. So see how that is for them and for you. Take a few more moments to solidify this experience in your memory. Then whenever you're ready, you can begin to return your awareness to the present moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch if you need to. Take one final deep, big inhale and exhale. And when you feel centered in your body, you can open your eyes if they were closed. Just feel that sense of calm and belovedness of who you are, gratefulness, the protection that your whole inner system brings. And then you can continue about your day. But thanks so much for joining me for this meditation. If you, as just a couple final reminders, is if you have questions, if you're live or if you're watching the video, type them in the chat or send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com. Also, if you go to my website, you can sign up, and this recording that I'll do of this meditation, you'll get that in your inbox later this week. There'll be a talk about the protectors and then a meditation that will come back over the next couple of weeks. Would love to get that to you. And so just go to faithfullygrowing.com. You can sign up for 25 meditations that I've created, a playlist of those that I've gotten good feedback on. And you can also sign up to receive meditations and resources that I send out. Let's see. I think that's it, but grateful for you joining me here. I do have a Facebook group that I'll put in the notes that accompany this video if you'd like to continue the conversation over there. That's another way that we can engage. But thanks again for your courage in joining me here. Take good care of yourself and feel free to reach out with your questions. All right. Take care.